fellow Toastmasters, honored guest. May you have walls for the wind, and a roof for the rain, and drinks beside the fire. Laughter to cheer you, and those you love near you, and all that your heart may desire. Yesterday, I was working on my Russian accent, and they decided to kick all the Russians out. So I don't know if that's a comment on my ability to do a Russian accent. Go big or go home. Go big or go home. No, I say, think small. Now listen. But the end of the year is here, and I have resolutions, I have plans, I have to achieve, I have to conquer and accomplish. More projection, more power, more prestige. No. When I was a little girl, I lived in a small town. We actually settled a town of 282 people. We built this town, the one-horse town. And we had a restaurant that had been open for almost 50 years. And I was a little mascot. So I'd walk around and I'd fill people's cups with coffee that had hot chocolate in them and tea because I couldn't see into the cup. It was so short. My mom was the waitress, my grandmother was the hostess, and my great-grandmother was the cook. And people would come from all over the world to eat our enchiladas. And there was a cowboy, okay, that would come in, and he was one of those mysterious cowboys with a big Stetson and the boots. And he would sit we had this long counter with the little chairs that I would sit and spin for hours. And he would sit down and he'd have his coffee, and they used to smoke in there, so he'd have his cigarette. And he was a mystery to me. He was a big, strong rancher. And one time, he said, "Young lady, pull up, come sit down." And I sat down next to him, and he said, "If you could have anything in the whole wide world, what would it be?" I had never thought of anything outside of my life, my existence. We were very poor. We lived in a trailer park. I was barefoot all the time. When it rained like this, we'd have a puddle so as deep as this table, and people would walk out, and of course we'd have to get through it. But I'd wear my short shorts, and I'd take off my shoes, and it was a heyday. It was fun. I loved it. I had no concept of wanting anything else. I was happy. I had my mom, I had my sister. We had the simple things in life. We had dirt, and ladybugs, and horny toads, and green grass, and I was happy. So to hear that, I had no idea. So the next week I came back, and he was there, and he asked me the same question. If you could do or be or have anything in the whole wide world, what would it be? That week I was on TV for the first time, and it was, the news had come and reported on school. And they came to my classroom and they showed everybody that I had learned to tie my shoes. Still didn't know what it was. Still didn't know what the answer to that question was. Next week, he came and asked me the same question. I sat down next to him. And I decided it was a pink rhinestone saddle. I wanted a pink rhinestone saddle. Now, we had horses, but clearly, that's a childhood wish. You know, what is it? We have ambitions, we have dreams, we have desires, and they're like that pink rhinestone saddle. They can be huge, they can be beautiful, but what would the pink rhinestone saddle be without the horse and the people to go riding with? When I was a little girl, I met my dad's side of the family, and they would send Christmas gifts. And I never sent thank you letters. No, my mom never told me about thank you letters. I didn't know. So they stopped sending them. And as an adult, I decided I'm going to start reaching out to family that I haven't talked to in years. And I'm going to ask them how old their kids are and what are their names, and really make the connection that's been missing for so many years, that in many ways, part of the reason that the connection wasn't there is because I was afraid I was being judged. They thought I was too creative. They thought I was too, when I write cards at the holidays, they're too flamboyant, they're too emotional, they're too dramatic. And they didn't understand me. And so I stopped writing them once I started writing, because then I felt I was being judged. But what I've discovered as I began to make these greater connections in my life with the people around me, the people who call me, calling them back, the people who text me, texting them back, that's my goal this year, is to think small and to really make connections with the people in my life. And what I've discovered is that everybody is excited to hear from me. And if they think my letters are too flamboyant, oh well. If my communication comes off not as articulate or graceful, or that's fine, because the connection is worth it. Relationships are messy. They're not easy. We say the wrong things. We forget to say things we want to say. But making that connection with each other and seeing the sparkle in each other's eye and really listening to each other and being present with each other and trying again, that's when it's worth it. That's when life has its value. So yes, pink rhyme saddles all the way. But more importantly, this is what's important. Thank you so much. Go big or go home, no. Think small.